Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526.
Hello and welcome to the property news here on Magic Bricks, now India's first property channel. I'm Krishna Kumar. Let's take a look at the top headlines that we're tracking. The big exclusive: IKEA will set up its first store on land formerly owned by Rallis India in the Trans-Thane Creek area. Remember, Magic Bricks now was the first to report that IKEA will ink a deal with a Tata company to set up shop in the country. Trouble mounts for top developer Sunil Mantri of Mantri Realty. The Bombay High Court has directed the liquidator to scrutinize all papers linked to properties under litigation. The court is currently hearing 77 cases against the developer filed by buyers, investors, vendors and landowners. In the national capital, the Delhi Development Authority presents an 8,500 crore rupee budget, gives a big push to housing, infrastructure and environment. Straight to our top story, which is a Magic Bricks Now exclusive. The world's largest furniture retailer, IKEA, has signed a mega deal with Tata Rallis. Remember, Magic Bricks Now had earlier reported that the Swedish furniture company had bought a 20-acre MIDC plot from the Tata Group in the Trans-Thane Creek area. Amita Balachandra, as usual, joins us live with some exclusive details on that front. Amita, you broke the story that IKEA will set up shop on the Thane-Belapur road. Tell us, what are you hearing at this point in time?
Well, the world's largest furniture retailer, IKEA, is all ready to set up its first store in the Thane-Belapur road. Of course, this mega deal is being signed by IKEA with Rallis India. It's an agrochemical arm of Tata Group. And what we're hearing so far is that this deal is valued at 180 crore rupees. And of course, this is a 20-acre MIDC plot. That's something that we broke right here on this channel on Magic Bricks Now just a couple of days ago. However, what we're also hearing is that MIDC is only going to facilitate this deal between IKEA and Rallis India, and which means it's only going to help in transferring that 20-acre plot to IKEA. And of course, IKEA is going to be opening its first store in Thane-Belapur road. Also, remember, Krishna, IKEA is betting on different land parcels across the country. There's Delhi, there's Bangalore, where it plans to open up 4 stores. However, right now in Mumbai, its first store looks like it's going to come up in Thane.
First IKEA store in Thane is the word coming in from Amita Balachandra. Not the first time. As usual, Amita, just one word: I can't wait to go shopping there just like you. Moving on. It's more agony for home buyers. RERA passed the test in the Rajya Sabha with flying colours, but now the real estate regulator bill awaits Lok Sabha to pass the bill and make it a law. Despite being listed on Monday, the bill was not discussed in Lok Sabha. Remember, the Cabinet and the Lok Sabha had okayed the regulator. However, with the Rajya Sabha proposing certain amendments, the Lok Sabha will have to discuss and ratify these changes. The bill will then be sent for the President's nod before it becomes an act. With just 3 working days left in the first half of the budget session, the centre is now pushing for the bill to be passed in the lower house of the parliament. The real estate bill is expected to get the final nod in the Lok Sabha this Tuesday. Moving on. The Bombay High Court has directed a court-appointed liquidator to work out of developer Sunil Mantri's office and scrutinize all documents related to the projects under litigation. The court is currently hearing 77 cases filed against the developer by home buyers, creditors, landowners and investors. The court had earlier directed the liquidator to attach the company's physical assets. It also barred Sunil Mantri and other directors from travelling abroad. We have Aishwarya Paliwal, who has been tracking this case, getting us this report on today's hearing. Take a look.
Bombay High Court has asked the official liquidator to go and camp at Sunil Mantri's Marine Line office. Close to 77 cases have been filed against Sunil Mantri and his company, Mantri Realty. These cases have been filed by home buyers, by landowners, by suppliers, by creditors and by various vendors. All of them claim that the money that they had given to Mr. Mantri and his company has not been recovered. Homeowners say that they have not been given the possession of the flats that they were promised. Close to 1,000 home buyers across the country have been affected by this in 4 major cities: Bangalore, Mumbai, Gwalior and Solapur. Close to 200 crore rupees is the accumulative amount that Mr. Mantri and his company owes unsecured creditors. Taking notice of the complex issue that is here, as some of the properties by Mr. Mantri are under construction, some of them have not even started construction. For example, the Paradise in Goregaon. He had took money from various creditors for this, and construction till date has not started. Now, Justice G.S. Patil said that it's a very complex issue, and since 4 different places are involved in this, each date would be given to tackle one city. The next hearing is on 28 March, when all the problems related to Mantri's properties in Bangalore would be heard.
Shifting focus then, expect more homes from the Delhi Development Authority this year. The development body's 2016-17 budget stresses on housing and infrastructure development. So what's in store for all the Delhiites? We have Deepa Rana, who's one of them, getting us this report. Take a look.
The Delhi Development Authority's budget allocation has big tickets for housing and development. This time, the expenditure for 2016-17 fiscal is 8,500 crores. Now, if we compare it to last year, there has been a growth of 32%. This time, the DDA has allocated a large amount for housing in areas like Vasant Kunj, Dwarka, Rohini and more. Also, the ongoing schemes have been given a push in areas like Dwarka and Rohini. Also, the DDA plans to approve building of new community centers in areas like Pritampura, Narayana, Jasola and more. And a major thrust has been given for feed complexes in areas like Narela and Ghazipur. This time the DDA has also given a major push to environment, and that is why there are going to be biodiversity parks built on Aravali and Yamuna, which we already know about, and also biodiversity parks are going to be built on the Tilpat Valley and Wazirabad as well. Now those are the highlights of the DDA's budget this year.
From Delhi to Mumbai, where developers are queuing up at the BMC's new portal that provides online approvals for building plans. In the first month after its rollout, the BMC's Auto DCR has reportedly been swamped with building plans. Disha Shah spoke with BMC officials earlier during the day, and she gets us a report.
Mumbai's civic body BMC has been getting good response to its Auto DCR rollout. In fact, they have already received 82 building proposals online from developers in the span of 1 month. When I spoke to BMC officials earlier during the day, they said that they have already cleared 2 proposals out of 82 from the chief engineer level, and payments for the same have already been done from the architect's end. Now what they are waiting for is the final nod from the commissioner level. Of course, an Auto DCR, the building approval system makes it mandatory for all the developers and architects to submit their building proposals online. Over here, a home buyer also has an advantage because if you have bought any property in the city of Mumbai, you can check the status of your project online, and that too free of cost. Of course, remember, this is the second step towards ease of doing business. The first step was already initiated in the month of January when Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had announced to reduce building permissions from 119 to 58. So of course, this is the second step towards ease of doing business. When I spoke to developers during the day, they also said that this was the need of an hour because this brings in more transparency in the real estate sector, eventually leading to more supply of homes in the market.
All right, on that note, it's time now to understand from a developer as to how this system has eased their business on the ground. And for that, joining us live on the phone line is Rohit Poddar, Managing Director of Poddar Developers. Rohit, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us over here. Tell us, building plan approvals in 60 days, and that too online. The system has started working. How easy has it become to do business?
There hasn't been much significant change actually at this current point of time, which was kind of expected because the Auto DCR has to basically manage a whole bunch of complex issues and submissions, right? You have various sizes of plots and so on and so forth, and lots of variables. So I think that the software is struggling as expected to basically deal with all these various permutations and combinations, and they're actively working on, removing the software glitches or making it more versatile or, having more input options on it. So I would say that basically currently, it's not like it's a one-stop shop where the solution is immediately available. I think it's a good step in the right direction, and in the foreseeable future, maybe 6 months' time or a year's time, it should work a lot better than it is right now. And actually, developers are giving in both online approvals, online submissions, plus physical, when the software can't basically manage the various different kinds of inputs.
All right, Rohit, I just want to understand, from your end as a developer, any particular suggestions, now that it's a month down the line, the way you've seen it work, any particular things that you think can be done to the auto DCR to make it that much more business friendly?
I think a bunch of things. I mean, there isn't any one suggestion. But also remember that the officers are basically managing the scrutiny of these online sort of documents haven't really had many years of experience in doing the same thing, whereas they've had many years of experience in basically scrutinizing physical documents. So it's a combination of basically having more software that manages to have more like I said, comprehensive norms for more comprehensive options for submission. Officers being more familiar with this and trained on managing the exceptions around the submission, not in a bad way, but in terms of the fact that the online system can't manage input very accurately, that this is given to the officer to basically speed things up. So I think it's a question of time. Remember, it's a tectonic change basically being done. So let's be a little patient and hope for the best and give them a little bit leeway in terms of getting the system more practically perfect.
Okay, Rohit, one last question before we let you go. Tell us, will this eventually lead to more supply of homes as far as the great city of Mumbai is concerned?
Well, I mean, single biggest issue is a single window clearance, which is still not there. And, we have to wait and see whether the 60-day approval process is really 60 days or whether it takes as long as it's taken before. So that's really the most significant factor in creating more supply. I'm sure once the single window clearance system is enacted in spirit and in reality as per the process, then you will see a lot more supply coming into the market and also prices basically, being a reflection of the added supply.
Rohit Poddar, Managing Director of Poddar Developers, thank you so much for taking time out to view this here on the Property News on Magic Breaks Now. Well, Auto DCR seems to have made life a little easier for developers, if not anything, in Mumbai with online approvals. But the irony is that the Bombay High Court has stayed new constructions, commercial, residential and even industrial buildings for non-compliance with solid waste management as an aftermath of the Deonar garbage dump crisis, which means that Auto DCR or not, till June 30th, 2016, the BMC cannot give any approvals for new buildings in the maximum city. Garbage menace is back to haunt Silicon Valley, Bengaluru. Despite protests and public interest litigations, the garbage situation in the city has gone from bad to worse. This time around, residents have taken to Twitter to express their outrage for poor waste management. My colleague Rahul Dayama gets us this ground report from Bengaluru. Take a look.
Bengaluru, the IT hub of India, made international headlines for poorly handling its garbage issue. Now, many years later, we are talking about the same problem. Situation on ground hasn't really improved. Garbage heaps like these are a common sight across the city. So much so now that residents of areas like Hebal and other areas are taking up to social media platforms to voice their frustration to civic authorities, asking them to really figure out a solution to this problem. Remember, the Karnataka High Court mandated segregation at source. This was supposed to be one big initiative that was supposed to solve all the problems of garbage that the city faces, but that initiative has fallen flat. While a few are segregating waste, not many segregate waste. The ones who do complain that the waste gets mixed up. While the CM Siddaramaiah had laid out an ambitious plan, in fact allocated 250 crores to manage waste, the situation on ground is far from impressing. The CM also spoke about making Bengaluru a Kasa Mukt city. That dream is far from over. The government will have to tackle bulk generators like hotels, hospitals and commercial establishments, and also ensure that segregation of waste, convincing residents that the waste that they segregate is being put to good use. This is the need of the hour.
That was Rahul Dayama there getting us the latest from Bengaluru, from the Garden City to garbage city. The garbage crisis in Bengaluru is a silent killer, and we here at Magic Bricks now stand with the people while there is still hope. Join our campaign. Let us unite and make the authorities accountable for your misery. You can call us, write to us, or tweet out our hashtag Bleeding Bengaluru. Send us pictures, even selfies with Kasa, and we will make sure your voice is heard. Let's then move on to a Magic Bricks Now special then, our brand new series, Looking Beyond Metros. This is where we get you the lowdown on locations that offer homes in the sub 50 lakh rupees category. You would recall that the Finance Minister announced an additional tax exemption on home loans for first-time home buyers in that particular budget, providing the home costing under 50 lakh rupees. After reviewing Surat, Ahmedabad and Jaipur, today we'll head south. My colleague Suesha Sawant helps us break down the Kochi market. Suesha, all yours.
Kochi is the commercial capital of Kerala, and a lot of investments have gone into the city lately. A lot of IT activities are happening here. The key developers who are building here and coming up with projects here include Prestige, Sobha, Purvankara and DLF. Also because it's also on its way to becoming a smart city. A lot of, like I said, IT activities happening here, which is leading to employment generation. The metro is also being planned here. The most important infrastructure project which is being looked at is the airport Seaport Link Road. Phase 1 is operational, which is between the airport and Kakanar. The other phase, which is between Kakanar to the port, which will make it into an expressway, that is still, the work is happening on that. Even the social infrastructure is fairly developed. Lulu Group is coming up with a lot of projects here. Talking about the residential development, of course, previously people used to prefer to buy bungalows or plots, but now the trend of apartments is slowly picking up. Talking about the market, on an average, the market varies anywhere between 1200 to 1800 rupees per square foot. A lot of the demand in terms of investment comes in from NRIs who work in the Gulf. They are the ones who basically invest here. The main challenge here is that to generate rental income, because either people buy here from the end use point of view, and even these NRIs who buy here, they buy property from a long-term perspective, from a long-term investment perspective. The key areas here include Marine Drive, especially the sea face homes here can go up to 12,000 rupees per square foot. The prime areas, like I said, Marine Drive, Panampilli Nagar, they are anywhere between 7,000 to 10,000 rupees a square foot. A lot of activities now picking up in areas like Kakanar, Vaitala Junction, Marar and Aluva. Here the prices are anywhere between 3,500 to 4,000 rupees a square foot.
Suesha Sawant there getting us the lowdown on the Kochi market. Thank you so much for that, Suesha. To get a better perspective on the Kochi market, we have with us Preetham Mehra, who heads the southern market at CBRE. Preetham, thank you so much for joining us live here on the Property News and Magic Bricks. Now tell us, if I am a first-time home buyer and I have 50 lakh rupees to buy a home, how would you rate the Kochi market for me?
See, Kochi is an extremely important market from the context of Kerala. It's the commercial capital of that state, and it has seen a lot of commercial development over the last few years with the introduction of Info Park and now the introduction of Smart City. The market has always been good from a residential development standpoint, except that a lot of buyers in that market are NRIs who work in the Middle East. So that market, if you're looking at from a Kerala standpoint, is a great market to invest in. But you know, it's primarily been driven by NRIs who work out of the Middle East in the region.
All right, Preetham, let's get into specifics then. What are the areas you would recommend, and more importantly, how much appreciation is one likely to witness, say, in the next 3 to 5 year horizon?
Okay, see, there are a lot of infrastructure initiatives that are being planned in that city. So one of the primary drivers for that city is going to be the shortlisting of that city, you know, as part of the top 20 smart city initiatives. The second thing is the metro, which is currently under construction. The city is going to have a metro rail connection in the near future, and this will definitely have a positive impact on the real estate development activity and on residential sales. Some locations have emerged as clear preferred locations in the city, including Kakanad or Vaitila Junction, where a lot of residential activity has already happened. Some of the other established locations in the city include Marine Drive, where a lot of national level developers have developed projects. So these few locations will see continued interest from potential buyers.
All right, Preetham, one last final question before we let you go. According to you, tell us, what are the risks as far as the Kochi market is concerned for an investor?
The risk primarily for this market is that it is dependent very heavily on the economy in the Middle East and directly and indirectly related to the global oil prices. So once the situation improves there, things will improve here. If the situation continues to remain muted, we'll see that impact happening in this market.
All right, Preetham, we will let it go at that. Preetham Mehra of CBRE, thank you so much for taking time out to be this here on the Property News on Magic Bricks Now. Moving away from all that, arts and crafts are a part of most of our homes, but when it comes to creating craft, many of us tend to shy away since it tends to be a rather tedious task. However, if you're an arts and crafts enthusiast who loves to brighten up your home with handmade knickknacks and stuff, then here's a craft that you will surely appreciate. In this week's episode of Design It Yourself, Akash Berry tells you how you can make a leather pouch for your tools at home. Take a look.
For this, we'll need a piece of leather ka kapda. Now, first step, cut this piece into 2 halves. Then fold all the sides like this and stick them using adhesive, or you can also sew it. After this step, place one piece on top of the other और ऊपर वाले पीस का एक हिस्सा काट दीजिए, the top portion. See, like this. Now, we'll attach all these 3 sides and we'll keep this side open. Now, you can either use glue, any adhesive, or you can simply sew it. Now the most important part is you have to keep sticking this top portion to the bottom portion, लेकिन 2-2 इंच के गैप पर. Finally, you have for the man of your life this cool looking leather toolkit. He can keep all his tools in it. He can keep his tools. So now, once the tools are in, roll it. Further, I'm using these leather strips as belt. And the gift is ready for the man who rules your heart.
And with that, we've completely run out of time here on the show. But if you have any feedback or suggestions for us, write to us on the email ID flashing on your screens. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so feel free to tweet to us or post your query on our Facebook page. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Also, remember to check out our website, www.mbnow.in. You can access all our shows on our YouTube channel as well. The IDs are flashing on your screens. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Property News on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.